In 1988, she was pronounced the youngest artist to write, produce, and perform a #1 single on the Billboard 100 chart with her song Foolish Beat, and she remains the youngest female to write, record, and perform a #1 single. She'll be at the Hilton Rosemont near O'Hare all this weekend for the Hollywood Chicago show. She's 80s pop royalty. And she's in studio right next to me. You're looking good, sister. Debbie Gibson.
Thank you.
Wow, you are beautiful.
Why, thank you.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on?
You know, I'm just kind of happier than I've ever been in my life, and I'm not in like some crazy race that you're in when you're a kid and you're working pop records. So that's what I attribute, the way I look to. Plus, I have an anti-aging doctor boyfriend, which doesn't hurt.
God, how does that work?
And
listen, give me a little something. Are you doing Botox?
No, but you know what? I'll shamelessly promote. He has a whole eating program and supplements called Better Than Lipo.
Really?
Yep, and you can look it up, betterthanlipo.net.
So what are you taking? What's going on? I mean, you're in fantastic shape.
Thank you. You know what? I've become kind of a scientist on my own eating habits and stuff, and I know if I eat certain foods, I might wake up with that lovely puffy face that especially us females know so well. If I have a glass of red wine, I'll be puffy for 3 days.
Men get it because of the booze. I'll wake up and I'll be puffy. Okay.
Red wine does it to me. But
right.
I've done like the detox eating program, and I put foods back slowly into my diet, and most of us walk around like, if you have a pizza with 10 ingredients, you're not ever going to isolate which one made you feel bad. Usually it's so I eat kind of plain and I eat healthy, and I don't work out a lot anymore. I do gentle things, and I just...
What do you mean you don't work out?
Hardly work out.
What do you weigh, 115 pounds maybe?
Just about.
Wow.
But you know what? I worked out my whole life to be able to now take it easier, watch what I eat, and just have a good time.
Well, they say women, when they hit their 40s, things start falling because of gravity. So that's why you need to work out and do yoga and things like that.
You know what? Put it this way. You could work out and eat bad and not lose weight. You could not work out and eat really well, and you're going to lose weight and stay lean. So to me, people go, oh, it's like 70% about the eating. It's like 99% about the eating.
Whatever goes in the mouth.
Right. I think the working out's good for your mind and toning and circulation, but to me, as a weight loss tool, it sucks.
I work out because I love drinking beer. So, I don't want the beer belly.
Right.
That's the only
reason.
reason.
If that works for you, that's awesome.
Debbie Gibson has sold over 16 million albums. Not singles, 16 million albums.
Kids out there are like, what's an album?
Isn't that funny?
I know.
I mean, nobody buys albums anymore.
It's a singles market now.
It's all singles.
I know. It's funny because I'm working on new music, and some of the songs thematically can go from one to the other. So I'll sit at the piano, and I'm playing some stuff for my man, and I'm like, check this out. And I'll start playing, and one song will lead into the other, and I'm thinking, this is kind of like old school album where you can actually have a storyline and an arc, and you can have segues and interludes and cool stuff. And I feel like I want to do that again and bring that back a little bit.
Okay.
Because it's a lost art. And someone can still isolate the single, but I love that you can kind of have a theme and tell a story and segue, and a transition chord might lead you into the next thing, and thematically it works and all of that. So I kind of miss that.
Well, those are the songs, it seems like, people remember, and they stand the test of time.
Yes. I mean, to me, every album should be, it was always my goal as a kid to be able to throw a dart and pick any song off the album and have it be a single.
Okay.
They should all be catchy. They should all be strong.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Man. Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes.
5th season.
I laugh.
Everybody asked you about that?
No, actually, you're the first one who's asked me about it today.
Really?
Which is funny. Yeah, I'm kind of glad.
Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes.
Who did you hate? Come on, give it to me. Who couldn't you stand?
Well, I don't even go to that place, but I'll say who couldn't stand me was Teresa, which everyone saw.
Yep.
The thing is, I feel like obviously there's this phenomenon of people who are famous for being famous, and they're on reality shows.
Right.
And they just throw darts at people who are daggers at people that actually are self-made. Mm-hmm. And, I remember her saying oh, well, you had some hits in the 80s. And I'm thinking, well, how many hits did you have, sister?
Right.
And
yeah.
I don't mean on Twitter.
Right. And I wrote it right in your face.
But, I kind of got to a place where I felt sad and bad, and I didn't want to be around that energy anymore. And at that moment, everybody, on my last episode, everybody was fighting about who raised what for charity, and I actually was one of the top earners. But I was not going to sit there and be like, well, I raised $30,207. It's so crass to be arguing about charity money.
Sure.
At that point in my head, I thought, you know what? I don't want to win this thing anyway, because I have to be around another 7 episodes.
Right. You don't want to do it.
I left gracefully. I left while the wheels had not fallen off the bus. I won 50 grand for my charity, Children International. They
That was
started
impressive.
building the center in India with that money, and I was out of there and happy with my time there. And I love Donald Trump. Donald Trump is what you see is what you get, and I'm a fan
Donald.
of people who are no different when the camera's rolling than they are when the camera's not rolling, and that's him.
He's a big guy in real life, isn't
He is. And you know what? He respects talent. He actually, I called to thank him the day after I went home, and he said to me, I watched back your episode, and you left with grace and dignity. He kind of wanted to see if it had
Sure.
come, like the closure was good for me. He said, now go use that golden voice of yours and do your thing. And he's very respectful and cool.
Damn.
I like him.
Can I have his number? Can you just pass it over to me? I want to call the Donald.
Sure.
Thank you. Hand me Debbie Gibson's phone so I can look at it.
Oh,
Can I
goodness.
ask you about a few people on the show? Like
Sure.
Arsenio, he's got his new show starting on
Arsenio's
Monday.
yes.
Monday?
Yeah. I remember being on his show back in the day. The first time was as a fan in the audience, and he came over to me, and I remember he said, can you wrap us into the next break? And I was like, and also coming up, y'all, on Arsenio Hall. And I did this whole, you can YouTube it. It's hysterical. I was trying to rap. I'm from Long Island.
Oh,
I'm blonde.
no.
It was
God.
really fun. And then actually I was on a couple of other times performing, and I'd love to be on the new show. He's so great at what he does, and people just love having him in their living room. So
They love it.
I'm glad he's back.
How about Adam Carolla?
Awesome.
I'm glad you said that because Adam's on this show all the time,
Awesome.
and he's going to be on.
He's a
soon.
great guy. Tell him I said so. No, and
Uh-huh.
I did his podcast after the show, and we were singing "Billy Don't Be a Hero" because that was the first song.
Billy, don't be a hero
I
from
learned
the
how to,
70s,
yeah,
right?
I learned how to play the piano to that song. But see, he and I were competitors in the task, and I still to this day say either one of us could have won. I think it came down to when did a girl last win a task, or what charity is it for?
I think
and so
you're
it's
right.
so political because
Of course.
I'm not going to say my thing was better than his. They were equal. But he's a super guy, great at what he does. I think he just is, tongue in cheek, and he's a brilliant comedian.
I love him. He's so funny, too.
I know he
isn't
really is. I like him a
Let's
lot.
talk about Adam like he's not here. God, he's just so good, isn't he? He really is. That's
no, I
great.
really enjoyed him.
Debbie Gibson in studio with us. She's going to be at the Hilton in Rosemont all weekend long. Now, you posed for Playboy in 2005.
I did, and
Are
I end up signing a lot of those at autograph shows. I've only done a couple. This will be my third autograph show that I've ever done.
Okay.
And yes, people do bring the Playboy, which is fine because I did it. I'm happy to sign it.
Right. Would you do it again?
I would. I probably feel more comfortable in my skin now than I did then.
Why do women say that?
I
Because
don't know.
I've heard that from so many celebrities that posed when they were younger, and when they hit 50, let's say, they want to pose again.
I don't know. It's just you just kind of grow into your own being. It's first of all, even when I did it, I was 34. So it wasn't like I turned 21 and said, I want to prove I'm an adult. I mean, I waited till I was 34.
Right.
By that point, it was like I'd been a woman for quite some time. So I wasn't trying to prove anything, which to me is the best way to do it because I did it for me. I thought some people may see it as a negative. Some people may see it as a positive. To me, it was neutral. It was just about me and,
Right.
and wanting to have that experience. I thought it was so cool.
Does it impact people now like it did 10 years ago? It
I don't
doesn't,
think so.
does it?
I don't think so because, it's like
Everybody's naked
boobs and
nowadays.
booty, a day on South Beach. Come on. I mean, really, it's not as you see as much on the VMAs at this point.
Right.
Honestly.
Well,
it's not a big deal.
I wanted to ask you about that. You were a young singer back in the 80s. Now, Miley Cyrus, you see her on the VMAs. What did you think when that happened?
Here's the thing. I have a different viewpoint than a lot of people. I say she's 20. She's rebelling against the Disney machine.
Right.
I think so many 20-year-olds go nutty in, frat houses across the country.
Right.
And sororities across the country. And there's a camera on her. So I almost like that she's being wild and free and truly herself right now and going through this phase because I doubt she's going to be living in this phase forever.
Mm-hmm.
And psychologically, if I may get analytical for a minute, if she comes out, like if she went from Miley Cyrus to wearing like a gorgeous Chanel suit and singing a ballad, she'd be in Celine Dion land already.
Right.
She'd be old before her time.
Mm-hmm.
Psychologically, because she went so far to this extreme, now when she classes it up and does the image makeover, it's going to be newsworthy, and everybody will have some little rock star image in the back of their head that she once dared to be this wild and free.
Right.
Ultimately, it's going to help her, which, look, I don't get the whole role model thing. I think that parents need to teach their kids in their home, and if kids are emulating pop stars, there's something wrong with the parenting. So I don't think
It
that
all goes back to the parents,
Yeah,
doesn't
I
it?
don't think that a pop star is an ideal role model, ever. I don't think a pop star ever was and ever should be.
Your parents should be your role model.
Yeah, your parents should teach you that you could go enjoy a Rihanna concert. That doesn't mean you're going to walk around in a thong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's art, that's showbiz. This is you, this is you. So the Miley thing, I kind of laugh and go, oh, youth. She's young. She's going through
But
a
it
phase.
worked.
She'll grow
Here we
out
are
of it.
3 weeks later
We're
talking
talking
about
it.
So it worked.
The one I'm really upset for is Robin Thicke, because here he had the song of the summer. He didn't need to share his stage with anybody.
No.
I don't know why he did.
And where do you get a suit like that? He looked like a referee. I mean, I'd like to wear that out on a weekend here in
He's amazing, but he
Chicago.
was completely upstaged, and I think, why? Like, who let him?
Nobody remembers that he was on stage, do they?
know.
I mean,
It's
some people
so
do, but the
weird.
general public, they don't remember.
That's
She
like
was
the
with Robin Thicke.
weirdest part
Right.
about it to me.
It's like he just passed, I want to say, Gautier for the #1 download ever.
Right, and he didn't need to say, "Look at me, I'm appealing to the young crowd by." By what? By dancing with her? I mean,
are
it
you
just
doing?
didn't. I didn't understand that.
But
at all.
that's the American way. You want to build somebody up, then you want to beat them
Right.
down, and then you want to build them up again.
And I think Miley, like I said, she's going through. I think she looks fabulous. I do think, obviously, she has growing up to do. Nothing screams "I'm young" more than I'm trying to be a woman and dressing half naked.
Right. Yeah.
You know? So I go, oh, as I say in London, oh, bless her heart.
And what does Debbie Gibson think of Justin Bieber?
Same thing. He's a kid. He's lashing out. He has too many expensive toys, and all
Right.
of that. And the thing is, I say this to my boyfriend all the time. I say, how do the pop stars today have time to be in the studio making a single every month, plus they're on a yacht in Saint-Tropez every time you open Us magazine.
Why are they on a yacht?
Plus,
I don't get
they're
that.
on vacation. I'm like,
Do you know any yacht people?
I've
Because
never,
I'd like to go on a
do you
yacht.
know what? At the height of everything for me, I never went on a yacht.
Ever.
Nor did I vacation with my boyfriend at 18. I mean, so it's all changed. And I didn't have time because I was working all the time. But these kids they're on a Video Music Award show in some country every weekend,
Right.
plus on a yacht, plus in the studio. And they're reporting on it on Twitter.
And
I don't know how they do it.
Bieber's worth $100 million. $100 million.
He's got such a great voice. And again, I hope that he may. I would hope for him that he steps back and takes that break, that breath that we all wanted Britney to take when she imploded.
What a train wreck that
You see it
was,
coming, and you go, please just take a break. Go live anywhere but L.A. or New York and just be a person for a minute and get a little perspective and then
Right.
come back.
You know what? Hold that thought. I want to talk to you about that when we get back. Debbie
Sure.
Gibson in studio. She's going to be at the Hilton Rosemont near O'Hare all weekend long for the Hollywood Chicago show at 720 WGN.